a lot that could come through. You know, even the Airy and the Victor top against the Nah. I'm curious because Clement, look, Vex, Victor on the same team. It's the battle of the bees and the solo laners. Meta Falcon team Impunity. For anyone tuning in, just a side note, these guys are 3-7. They're trying to make sure they stay safe away from the Hurricane Gaming, even the Sem9, if they can finally get a win. And make sure that they can hold on to a top 8 spot. In the PCS, top 8 secures playoffs. 9th and 10th will be out. So this could be the win that they look back on in creating themselves a bit of space and making sure they get a good position towards the end of the split. Because we are a couple of weeks away. As we get into this game and how important it is, Clement, I will announce, Taco has taken first strike.
All right, so he is going for the more standard build. I see this just being superior to Grasp, in all honesty.
The Grasp was crap, Clement. It was garbage.
Okay. Well, at least my instincts are correct on that one. I'm very happy to be backed up by your observations from the LPL. Going into his runes a little bit more, we do see the Time Lord Tonic, and I believe the Biscuits there as well. So it is just a full sustain build. You also have the Corrupting Potion. We should expect him to just harass this Gnar out. Gnar very weak early on, and Wayne gonna get a lot of free damage out. Pure onto Faith, gets the Electrocute as well.
Corrupting Potion. Sigil taken first here. Weren't actually still benefiting the trade Corrupting for Corrupting. It was the little peek here from Faith to see if 665 was starting on the top side, and he is for the time being. Will be pathing bottom. You can see reverse from Taco. Now, the big thing we got to look out for this game, alongside the Victor top and the Vex mid, Taco, if he comes to the top side, it's going to get confusing real fast. In the first time we did it, Clement, it was funny because Taco spent so much time in Taco's lane. It was huge. It was actually the whole time Taco diving Taco and Taco getting beaten by the other Taco.
Do you want to use maybe like Taki or something this time around? Or
we'll see.
I think you
Let's
have
see
to
if he goes top side.
Yeah, I feel like we have to respect the players' names, so we can add things to it, but we shouldn't change it. No, like one should be like a fish taco, or the other one just like a beef taco. Get what I mean? Like,
we'll add some flavor in front of it. I completely agree. When we get up there and when we see if Taco makes something of the lane, we can add our own little flavors in, because Taco right now is heading towards mid, and I like that one is pathing towards warded side. Personal space used though.
Yeah, he just used the fear charge as well, so he won't be able to slow down Taco if he does come in. Let's see if Faith can land the chain here.
5 nearby though. Can he get nearby? It's a flash from Faith. You wanted to see the chain come through, but it's a flash from Taco immediately. 665 late to the chase, and that's going to be a nice little reset if he chooses to take it. Right against the turret. Taco cares not. First blood to Impunity.
Well done on that part. When just using the flash a little bit too early, didn't see the chain come out flash beforehand, and that was just an easy go sign for Taco to chase up with his own flash. I've actually been very impressed with Taco. I feel like he's actually the junglers with some of the better mechanics here. We see a lot of Lee Sin bans going his way. He definitely has a carry flair to him. And, honestly, the only, criticism I would give him is he does get caught out quite a bit in the mid to late game. But I think he's one of those up-and-comer players that I have been very interested in watching over the course of the split so far.
And 665 goes to the top side. Just on the note of junglers, I think 665 has been pretty impressive in his own ways. Like, speaking of Lee Sin, he did have that great game earlier in the split.
Just not on Hecarim.
Not on Hecarim. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah. Because 665 has been someone who I think has kind of been the cornerstone of MFT, right? Like, we talk about that this team doesn't have experience, that this team is, still quite fresh. And 665 feels like he is a big voice. I've been watching comms, Clement. I don't know if you have an insight into this, but it definitely feels like, especially during pick and ban, great timing, he's not even talking, that he's been someone to be quite vocal. Obviously, I'm picking the wrong timers. There we go. A bit of a contest for the jungle. That's going to get him started talking.
Okay. Started talking indeed. And I have to say that MFT right now are in a bit of a pickle. They have Wen without Flash. And they are going to try to help him up with Epoch. But somehow Taco able to, Spidey senses, walk away from that. Just
easily.
Fine.
Fear comes through. 665 makes himself, though. 3 people in the mid lane. Faith just having a bit of a party.
I gotta tell you, 100%, I would have been knocked up by Epoch right there. I would not have been looking at that red bright circle on the middle of the road, I would treat it as sort of like, oh, this is interesting. I'm gonna try stepping on it. That's the thing about like, I feel the thing about Tom Kench skins is that the circles sometimes you just don't know what they are. Like I get surprised a lot by those Tom Kench skins.
You gotta pay to win. Pay to win with a lot of Tom skins, and you're right. Like the
I
fact
thought that was
changes
explicitly against Riot like philosophy, but I will say most people do end up using this Tom Kench skin because the circle is so dark.
Well, yeah, there's some skins like that as well, right? Whether it be for auto usage or for like, I think Blitzcrank was banned from competitive play for so long because of that reason. Remember the hook is practically unseeable. It's just like this line that travels, you know, across the grass without much vision. So definitely understand that at first hand. Clement, with my ramblings aside, I need to pull out the fact that top is a bit of a smashing right now. Quiet is destroying Taco by about 10 CS. Look, the ulti through here as well. Is this solo kill territory? Not if you miss Q. Quiet, unfortunate there. We'll try it once again. It's in the wall. He'll pick it out. Hits it this time. And now the other Taco comes in. This is what we're waiting for.
Can Taco flash Taco? That's the question right here. Taco's going in.
On Taco. Okay, flash away from Taco. 665 coming in. Taco goes down now for Taco. He's not taking turret aggro as he's right under for now. Gets help from Faith and 665 running them down. One with the ulti. Shadow Surge needs to hit Taco. But as he goes invisible, it's going to be blocked by Faith. And this is so nice here from the mid laner. Impunity stays strong. 2-0 start.
Incredibly well done on the side of Impunity right there. And unfortunately, it just seemed like Taco. Okay, never mind.
Well, a bit too far forward. He flashes away, ignites down Pinway under turret, absorbing a lot though. Epoch running in with the ignite. This time Kench cares not as Blaze still energized and ready to go without the level 6 though, I may add. A big mistake here from MFC's 2v2.
I gotta say, I love that play from Pinway. Like, nobody expects you to flash auto attack right after missing your hook. Like, usually the opponent is just like thinking about the emote spam, laughing and stuff like that. But he definitely went all in for that one, and it was a very successful trade. You got both summoners off of Whale. It does open up a lot of opportunity for Taco to snowball. And we have to remember, he's already 2-0 in this game.
Pinway's dead.
Huh?
Pinway is dead. He was ultied by Whale. Whale hit level 6, and it looks like Pinway was backing. Look at the death marker all the way behind the turret. A nice little snipe from Whale.
Sometimes the most obvious spots are not the safest. Pinway probably did not expect that level 6 to tick through. And
oh my god.
No
what is the obsession? What is the obsession with Taco on Taco? But the gravity field. The gravity field and the unbreakable. Quiet comes through. Excuse me, it was a heartbreaker. And Taco dies again. And this is what happened the last time we saw the head-to-head. Clement, when we were casting this, Taco lived for Taco. And once again, he loves sitting in this lane.
Now we're going to take a good look at how Whale managed to get that kill off Pinway. He was too close to the wall. Had nowhere to go. That's always the problem. Like, if you want to juke left and right, you have to kind of sit in the middle of the lane. But that's also a bit counterintuitive. So Taco right now with this Viego. The thing about Viego is once he gets fed, he actually tower dives super easily because he can drop tower aggro by sort of vanishing with the Sovereign's domain afterwards. And it just makes those dives so easy to accomplish. If Taco doesn't get his Chaos Storm to clear the wave, he's just a sitting duck most of these times. And being so far behind, I don't think he's going to get an opportunity to actually push out anymore. So I have to say this pick is just it's a little bit baffling why this Victor pick didn't just go mid.
Yeah, like we got the Victor early than the Vex last pick, and so AP solo laners right now in an interesting position because mid's going okay for the laning phase, but top side Quiet is getting close towards that hull breaker. As you said, Taco's been playing a lot of attention there. Nice personal space here. Faith missing practically everything. And, you know, right now, they're in a really good position. Impunity in this early game, a 1k gold lead. They've got a Dragon coming up in about 3 minutes 40, so a bit away. But Clement, they've got a Rift Herald still available. So Taco has the opportunity to snowball one of these solo lanes, or even bot, right? There's so many good lanes that it's worth using on.
Yeah, it just depends on where he feels like he has the most chance to get kills. Because of how fed he is, I would expect him to do tower dives and not just go for plates, but also go for the potential of just getting that 300 gold away from people. And with that in mind, I just feel like it has to be the top lane. Victor is not a champion that can farm safely in a long lane, so that probably makes the most sense to me. And it also will draw a lot of defenders to the top side. I think 665 is actually a little bit behind the curve, as we see the Mythic already completed here for Taco. So he will most likely be able to get 665 to try and challenge him here. And that's just a challenge that he will be very comfortable winning.
As 65 was already picking on the way, but Taco walks in a ward. So 2v2 on the top side. That's happening. The difference is one will need to teleport in as he's backed away. Faith teleported to the mid lane and is walking up as Herald gets dropped on down. And you mentioned the wave clear, not really there at the moment. Taco is going to be able to get rid of the minion wave. Herald's still charging here though. The gold shared. Faith jumps in, Taco gets stunned up, walks too close to the burning light, and down he goes. The T versus T action in the top side just keeps brightening up the day.
Beautiful stuff coming in from Faith as well. Just putting a bit of finishing touches onto Taco, and we do see the first item here. It is going to be Crown of the Shattered Queen. Yeah. That's kind of an interesting trade where you're bringing first shot. Like, you have such a powerful, just like short skirmish trade. You have like the 70% damage reduction for 1.5 seconds, and then you also have the first strike to get a bit more extra damage. So it's definitely an interesting combination, but it feels a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, I mean, 0-3 up in that top side, 25 CS down at the moment. Quiet, doesn't even have Hull Breaker, but this turret's going to be his. The side lane, definitely his. The first turret blood going over to Impunity. And this early game belongs to them. And Clement, I was going to come back with junglers. What we've seen in the early game is 665 constantly hovering over Vision. We saw that he tried to push out Wen's lane, but Taco was there to kind of react to the counter, or at least make the counter, I should say. 665 always in the vision of Impunity. They've been tracking this Hecarim all early game long.
Exactly, and that just comes from the fact that they were able to get early gank off on the mid lane, and top lane has just been winning 24/7. So it's very difficult for MFT to do any proactive plays. I feel like 665 on the Hecarim, once again, his only option is likely to go for a lane gank. Hecarim is built for that, has very long range with his engage. But the laning phase also is just winding down at the moment. Impunity, I think they are starting to find those chokeholds onto the objectives, and this is going to be very difficult for MFT to play. If they want to have a chance of coming out of these team fights ahead, they actually need to target down Taco, and I'm not sure how I see that happening.
So it's because it's reset on both sides, right? One versus Taco, Viega versus Vex. But there's a lot of other key elements in play. So outside of targeting Taco, what do MFT do here? Because there's a lot of good scaling. There's a lot of, I guess I'd say, spacing abilities that can wombo and layer in to actually catch out Impunity if they group.
Their advantage definitely comes from the range that they have, and when I'm talking about range, it's about the global range. So they have a good chance of catching people out before they can congregate. You have the Shadow Surge and you have the Onslaught of Shadows. So if you want to just, they can beat back flanks fairly easily with this composition from MFT. I think they're doing this quite nicely. They have seen the split up from Impunity. They just walk in, easily take the Drake, even when their lanes are actually in pretty bad situations. So I think that was a good way to just kind of utilize their advantage in composition.
So come back to MFT then. You talked about, excuse me, never mind. Epoch caught out. There's a depth charge. He goes into the air. Pinway says, come back here. But as the teleport comes in, Blaze now going to have to run the hell away because MFT have brought in Taco, but Quiet's joined in as well. The Meganar with ulti available. Flashes in for a two-man. And as Faith joins the fight, he gets speared out, but we get the reset for Taco. Turns into the horse, out with the Heartbreaker, and in with a death. A shutdown from Wen has just turned this all the way around. Shadow Surge available at melee range. He'll take a triple. MFT, Clement, that range came in handy.
Full 10-man engage coming in from MFT right here. And what we saw was, again, Pingwei just going a little bit too far forward. Epoch is going to give one back. So Faith might pay.
Well, one is still looking pretty frisky on this one, Clement, so he won't die, but MFT will get the turret.
Yeah, I really want to go through that replay once more. I think the big thing for Impunity is they didn't get the first kill reset cleanly enough. They actually lost a bunch of damage by walking into tower range, and that just meant that Whale could wail on their entire composition, no pun intended. As we see this going in, good flash from Epoch baits them in, and look at Pingwei. He's just dead right off the bat right there. It's 14 minutes, the TPs are coming in, a bit of a throwback to Season 11, and look at how much resources they throw at Epoch. They take so long to secure the first kill, and when they do, Taco is completely outside of position. Wen gets a two-man fear just as he goes in, and the resets are there for MFT, but not there for Impunity.
I mean, a massive turnaround and going so deep to the turret, hurting Impunity in this early game. Despite the fact that they threw so much away, gold lead's still in Impunity's favor, but remember that MFT is the team with 2 dragons. MFT are now the team with the 3-1-0 Vex, 2-0-3 Jinx. Clement, if we're talking about range, it's so much easier to execute when you know you're going to one-shot and kind of match the burst on a team that has LeBlanc, Viego, and be a bit more comfortable knowing that you're going to be matching or even beating items.
That's the one big problem about Impunity's composition. Their engage is a little bit harder when you're thinking about a front-to-back teamfight composition. They have to walk through the gravity field. There is Epoch and 665 who are incredibly difficult to kill. So Impunity have to use Guile and trying to defeat MFT. They need to be setting up flank opportunities. They need to be catching people out. It's a bit more tricky than just straight up running at the enemy composition. I feel like if you replay those fights that happen in the bot lane where both teams are just smashing into each other, 9 times out of 10, MFT will come up ahead.
Setting himself up for a bad position means Impunity now on the back foot. Damage from the last team fight there. I like that Faith is looking to get some of the bounty back. Can he 1v1 That's the biggest question. One's being patient and taking safe pathing around. No pings going out, but Faith was playing it pretty deep. He'll get out alive, and so will One moving to the lane. And now, Clement, looks like we just wade towards the next dragon. A minute 30 until the third one that'll lead the sole point for MFT. And we do have 4 mythics across the board, matched by 3 mythics and a hull breaker. Kind of curious who gets the second item first, because we are pretty close on our 80 carries and potentially our mid.
Yeah, exactly. And as we look across the map right here, just taking stock of some of the items, looks like a blade coming up on the side of Taco, just making sure he's going to go full carry all the way. And then we do have just a little bit more burst damage. We have seen a couple of Everfrosts up here and there from the Vexes, but I think Ludin Echoes works really nicely as well. It does give you a little bit more burst potential for the backline, and you kind of need burst when you're playing up against Zeri compositions. I think that's the other big thing that we have to track is Zeri is completely busted, even though her damage numbers and slow are completely nerfed to the ground. The fact that she's impossible to catch is still there for her. So we'll see how Blaze can kite this one out into teamfights. This setup, though, I do think it actually favors MFT. They need to put a lot of damage on
especially if Pinway dredge lines next to a wall. Shadow Surge for One. Onslaught of Shadows, he'll get a reset. Blaze stepping up the Zeri, now in range for Whale to get excited. Death Rocket already uses, Tucker rejoins the play, onto Epoch, he gets feared, and Epoch saves One's life. Yet again, MFT from the brink of despair of this game have bridged shit up to make it look as easy peasy.
I know what Impunity were trying to do, but I just feel like they messed their steps up. What they wanted to do was push the wave in and fork MFT by dropping the Herald and then just going for the Drake. I think that was the correct sequence. I feel like they did it in reverse, where they engaged as if they've already taken the Drake, and their plan just completely blew up in their faces. Very baffling to see this play. It was a good start by Faith, we have to give him credit, but this move from Pingwei going right onto the Flame Choppers into the Fear, that was just inexcusable, and it immediately puts Impunity in a terrible position. Blaze also has to walk up against Whale, who has superior auto attack range, good body blocking by Epoch to stop the Viego from finding Whale, and Impunity just get wiped.
You have a 100% win rate on Zeri, by the way. 5 games it's been let through. 5 games it's won. So at this point, Impunity putting up an argument to give it its first loss in the PCS. And even more importantly, Impunity, you know, in a position where that Zeri shouldn't have to be looking down the line of a potential loss. Like, this was Impunity's game with Taco's early game running amok. It was jungle diff. And now suddenly, after the bot play, after going too far, and then even then, being in such a bad position, Impunity have thrown so much away. And MFT in an angle where they've got a 2-item Jinx, almost a 2-item Vex in the mid lane. Gold only about 1,000 lead, which matters not too much.
Yeah, this is a very weird situation because Impunity have won the top lane, they've won the side lane split pushing. I think their biggest mistake was thinking that this composition should be played in a 5v5 fashion. I don't think this is the way you want to play the comp. You want to find small skirmishes, especially surrounding Taco's lane, because he is so far behind the rest of the map. And I don't know why Impunity is so forceful on these engages. It does feel like the team communication with Pingwei maybe does have a bit of an issue. And both of these instances, it has just been Pingwei going so far in when the rest of the team clearly didn't want any part of it.
Supports today and going in when their team doesn't want to. You know, Felia in the last game from Sem9. If anyone missed that match, first of all, you don't have to go back and look at it. Second of all, it was just chaos from that support too. So, yeah, a lot of questions being raised. And, you know, as we get to this mid game and we get to a really strong foundation, Clement, we're now going to have to deal with Impunity in, like, you know, an even position against this dragon. Walk me through what a good team fight looks like again for Impunity, because I can't remember.
Honestly, it's best if there is no team fight. Just split. Just split the 100% of the time. Like, you have free wave control bot lane. Taco cannot fight. It's not the other Taco, sorry. They cannot fight quiet at this point. So you just place him there. He has his TP advantage, and you try to fold the pieces in Taco and Faith. You move them around, and you shift yourself in more of a 1-3-1 position, where you have a lot of mobile pieces that can catch up the enemy team if they want to group up. I think that's the best way to handle this situation. And if you do that, you should get wave control as well, especially in the side lanes. So MFT, you put a lot of risk onto MFT. If they want to go for the Drake, if they go for the Soul, they have to be thinking about the next steps of dealing with their minion waves, or how do they want to counteract the Baron play if they take too much poking.
Looks like Quiet's listening for now, moving into the inner turret. But MFT, I like that immediately their response is like, all right, we'll push mid as a 5-man. As Faith goes in. Faith setting it up. This is good burst here. Teleport coming from behind. Quiet does have Mega Napa available, but the gravity field slows him down. Weren't going to do the same. No fear coming through. MFT in a choke. Quiet with flash available. Mega Nar's timing out. This would require God vision, but Impunity, the teleport's going to be burned, and it's moments before the dragon spawn.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think they went in just a little bit too early for that one. They expend one teleport for it, but the rest of the team was able to completely disengage. If they wanted to go for that play, Pingwei needed a flash and def charge. I think that was the correct sequence there. And again, it's just like harping on communication. But you know, in my mind, if I was seeing this in the LPL or something, that would be kind of the
all flashes burnt.
Yeah,
everyone forward.
Yeah.
We're committing or we're losing kind of thing.
Yeah, because like if you just throw away resources like that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And as you can see, MFT were perfectly capable of resetting. There was enough time for them to do so, and this is one of those positions where Impunity, even with a slight gold lead, could find themselves at a massive teamfight deficit. They have a lot of teleport wards though, so let's see if Faith can actually catch out, most likely Whale in the backline.
Alright, teleport's coming through. Impunity need to stop this. This is the Ocean Soul coming through. And MFT, the poke's starting to come through from Taco, but Faith is on the backline, not spotted out yet. One is waiting patiently. Faith needs to come through here and get some burst. Wants to get 6-5 as Dragon's going to go down, but look, they turn for the fight in the backline. One's there with the Shadow Surge, gets his own little reset. And now, again, returning to the fray. It's a double kill. Hits Taco again. One with personal space. A triple kill Clement. He's going to get quiet, but no. Steps to the side. No quadra kill just yet as Faith walks into his side, a Mistral Bolt to follow through. Faith trying to carry the rest of the fight, but Impunity, it's all gone wrong. MFT, ace and one is the hero of the mid lane.
I don't think anyone is going to be banning Wen's Galio after this one. His Vex is clearly the true threat in terms of his champion pool. What a beautiful angle to find Blaze as he was getting out of the pit. That was such a good read in terms of psychology. You know that the AD carry is most likely to retreat from that position. He goes in with the full burst and the personal space on the Fear, gets the reset onto the backline, and just cleans up. He basically killed three members on the side of Impunity by himself. That was a 4v2 on the other side of the fight, and MFT win handedly.
Impunity got the Dragon, Clement, but you look at what it cost, and MFT, we're going to come back to live, and the gold lead is going to be so apparent. Folks, I'm wrong. It's pretty even, but the fact is MFT were down 2,000, and after that fight, it's still a lot of resources given back. And surprisingly, I'm surprised Taco did the most damage after the early laning we've seen.
That's pretty interesting. He got a lot of free hits off on the top side of the fight. Well, he was going against tankier targets. I think we should put it that way.
True.
Yeah. Oh, wow. But the big thing, of course, is the fact that Wen is absolutely massive at this point. 6-1 and 2. If he was killing Blaze with just 2 abilities, it was 3. He had to use the Q. Now it's going to be less. I feel like it's a 2-shot burst from the side of Wen.
Agreed. I mean, when we get that needlessly large rod evolving, it's going to be a 3-item Gwen that, it's going to be maybe even less at 2 at that point. Instant burst here onto Blaze. His flash was available but not used in the last play, so at least that's an opportunity for him to kite it out. But as we look at this game and how it's evolved, it just feels like every fight is going more and more favor to MFT. Clement, 3-item 80 carries here, just about here for Blaze. And those side lanes that we talk about being put into effect now by Impunity, but you can see that one is reacting to top side. Taco now feeling a little bit safer in the bottom lane. His wave clear a bit quicker too, so we are getting MFT just coasting it out until they get their 3rd, 4th items.
Definitely feels that way for MFT, and this is the point in the map where I feel like the side lane control, as you were talking about, starts to shift backwards a little bit. Impunity, they don't really have any pressure on secondary towers. Of course, they can threaten with the potential collapses. They should be able to get out of this one. He's a LeBlanc, it's completely okay. But I feel like their potential for Quiet to do stuff like this and walk up to the tower is actually fairly limited.
I mean, Hops used. Chaos Storm now out. The shielding from Taco, but the auto attacks are coming through. Quiet's one with Wit's End and 3 items, but he gets it anyway. It's a solo kill for Big Taco.
You can't keep Taco down forever. He dances around and dodges out on the boomerang with that cosmic drive. A lot of extra movement speed to play with there. Also good Zanya usage to take down Quiet right there. And that's what I was talking about. I don't think at this point solo laners from Impunity can actually threaten chip damage onto towers. And that just means that MFT, that gives them a lot of leeway to group up and have that stronger 5v5 that their composition offers them.
Man, from an early game of getting dove by the other Taco, this Taco surviving out with 3 items now, and a close solo kill. Let's be real, if there's no Zonya's Clement, that would have been in Quiet's favor. So nice to see it, nicely done. And overall, MFT keep getting these wins. 45 seconds until the Dragon, by the way, as well. That Chaos Storm that you just saw used will be up and available, and even the Zonya's too. So Clement, the setup for this one looks like MFT will be out on the map first. However, they're not interested in moving to River first. They're going to wait for everyone to group up.
So if you're thinking about the Ocean Soul, I don't think it's that pertinent to the way Impunity want to play the game. If I'm Impunity and I don't find an early flag when the Dragon is up, I would actually want them to try and bait Baron. I think that would potentially be the better move, or at least give them some more vision advantage or like dark spaces to play with by playing cross map. So right now on the map, you can see MFT, they're already grouped up together. You're not going to be able to find a flank here. And for me, this is a play where, maybe Taco stays around, tries to chance a steal, but I'm not going to try and full commit to this play.
Enemy Taco in the brush. W going to be used, so they know he's in the back of the pit. MFT still staying grouped up. Quiet is sitting on a mid-range Narbar for now. Taco starting in full vision, though. MFT's jungler sitting on the side. They want to burst this down, but for 665, he has ulti. He can get in, but it's not stolen. Secured here by Impunity. While Taco goes gold, the Shadow Surge in the backline only hits Quiet, and one won't fly through. So Impunity delaying out the game, getting the dragon, while MFT has other plans in mind. They want something else purple.
Really interesting about the way that MFT played that one. I feel like they would have still had a strong chance just walking forward and taking down Taco there, but they decided to play it super safe and try to chance for the smite. Now, 665 still has his own smite and is on the objective a lot faster. We'll see if Impunity can find a punish.
Yeah, there it goes. Faith on the wing now, going to look for someone, though, as he pops his head in. Look at where Taco is in the back line. They want to take this fight with a depth charge as well, getting Blaze. Oh, excuse me, it's one who gets knocked up. It's Blaze with the ulti. Pinway going golden, but Blaze building the spade. And you look, Taco's got a reset. This is Impunity's chance to get back in the game. As Quiet's Mega ulti may have just done it. Epoch running away while Blaze builds time and space. Whale will drop down, and Impunity say no to their big old Baron.
Well, he got the Baron, but it cost everything coming in from them. This is I feel like this is such a weird sequence from MFT. They sort of chickened out on the low risk play and went for the super high risk play immediately. So it was a weird direction for them to escalate into. Channeling herself into the Baron pit, taking a lot of damage because they don't really have tanks on their team like that, was so odd to see. The surround coming in from Taco was absolutely great there, and they took out Wen before he even could auto a couple times. So we'll watch this once again. 665, as you notice, as a soul tank on the team, already takes a lot of damage coming in from the Baron pit. Taco gets a great surround here and just absolutely decimates Wen, and that's just the reset city. Quiet, great Gnar play to clamp down on the rest of the team, and it's just so baffling to me.
Another reset from Taco as well. You're right, like baffling in the sense that MFT had control of this game, and I want to point out that there hasn't been a gold lead for MFT, despite all the issues that Impunity came into and the mistakes they made. MFT never really had a gold lead. It just equalized.
Yeah.
And so we're back again with Impunity taking a bit of a lead, almost 3,000. But Bounty's back on there. And Clement, we haven't really talked about scaling because we're now in a late game situation. We talked a lot about the setup for team fights around Ocean Soul. Impunity have delayed it twice now and kept this game going. So walk me through what optimal setups are like and maybe include a bit of scaling for me to pique my curiosity.
Yeah, in terms of scaling, I think it's very hard to outscale a Zeri. I think Zeri's one of those champions that's just so very hard to catch. Oh, you can't outscale a 5v4 either, though, so 665 still has to play a little bit safe. I think the turning point is actually GA on Whale. I think GA on Whale kind of shifts the momentum back to the side of the Jinx because of that range advantage, but Faith is going in now.
Yeah, he is. Gets poked out, though, and look, Shadow Surge. Oh, my God! One straight on in! A massive shutdown. It goes to Whale, and Taco is now front-lining. This Vex is so scary as the next Shadow Surge goes down the middle lane, but one may have just brought it back for his team.
Yeah, a lot of damage going through right there, and that's the big problem about Impunity and why I don't think they can take 5v5 fights. They don't have members that can survive burst from Wen. It's Reset City. They have Pingwei, and Pingwei's not really a true tank. He gets killed the same thing. So there's so many open targets, and somehow Wen always finds Blaze first.
Yeah, and he's hitting these Shadow Surges. You know, I've only seen a couple miss. It's usually after the fact of finding the big pick. The 3-item now Zonya's on the Vex. Excuse me. Yeah, Zonya's in the last fight, but still the point stands. So much burst. Second time Blaze has been bullied by this very emotional Yordle. And Clement, you know, sometimes with depressed people, they make you depressed. And I feel like that's what one is kind of embodying, like Vex, trying to import it onto Blaze.
Trying to spread the nihilism across the entire rift right there. That's what you want to go for. That's what the after the club Poppy, as we call it here.
After the club. It's 4 a.m. Poppy's lost her hammer. She doesn't know where she is, and she's feeling very tired and wants to go home.
Exactly.
That's
she had a
Vex.
hoodie from
Well
a
done.
stranger, and that's what we. So I think returning to the scaling question, it's not really about like, for me, it's not scaling. It's about like team fight setup a little bit more. And naturally, it does favor 5v5 the later the game goes on, because you have more important objectives like just popping up constantly, like this Dragon Soul right here. So it is, I think, slightly favorable to MFT, even with the gold lead coming in. They need to find key targets on the backside. They need to kill Whale, but he does have a stopwatch here, and there's also a Tom Kench. So I think it just invalidates a lot of the sort of burst potential that Impunity has.
Quiet to base. Quiet had to go back to base to react to the wave. They're a member down, and MFT have first pickings on the Dragon. That's Soul into the backline. MFT are cleaning up members as well. Pinway the first to go down, but the lightning crash is giving Blaze a lot to work with. Whale stepping forward, but still, it's a Zeri. Be careful. One has already used his ultimate to no effect as Faith runs away, and Blaze continues to play. You can see that Faith is on the bottom side running for his life as MFT want to chase down this LeBlanc. Epoch running in as well, but oh, that's a crazy back position from Taco. An Ocean Soul achieved, an MFT once again looking hopeful.
Just beautiful play coming in from 665. That was a 4-man fear right in the middle of the team fight. They instantly scatter. We get the late game prowess of Hekara, but we also see the late game from Blaze. This is the first team fight he gets to play. Actually, the second team fight. He gets to play without getting sniped out by Wen. There was people body blocking for him. And you could see how terrifying Blaze and his area really is. He just gets to stay in the back line. Nobody can catch him. NFT don't have the honestly, they don't really have strong engage after Onslaught of Shadows is expended there. So that's going to be a key thing about these two teams, is that it really does come down to who gets to burst who down first. Like, the first strike is incredibly important. If they can get it onto Whale, I feel like Impunity have a chance, but that's pretty much the only target that they have.
As, you know, that first strike being deadliest, I mean, Faith to set that up. One will be the first target here, looking for the LeBlanc. They start the Baron. This is where MFT threw it all away before, at least threw some Hail Marys to the wall. One still in the bush. Faith's going to be walking into this one.
Checks it.
The Vex is just there.
Wait,
He wasn't
he's dead?
looking. One was looking at the fight. The Chaos Storm in the middle with a numbers disadvantage. The Lightning Crash again on top Longsword does nothing. Impunity going to lose their Viego though. With Taco down, it equals to a 4 vs 4 as Quiet runs in. He thought he was going to get Meganar. Blaze flashed on. Whale chasing him up with the Ocean Soul. The Mega Death Rocket gets him. It's a triple kill. A quadra kill. Faith going in, but he's going to give a Repenter. Almighty Whale.
Nobody saw that one coming. MFT had an absolutely disastrous start to the fight. Their most fed member, Wen, dies without doing absolutely anything, and they're able to come back into the fight. I would love to watch that one again, but a couple of key things right off the bat. Once again, 665 does a great job just charging into the enemy, dispersing them across the board right there.